Oh yeah.
You hear the sound of the future? You hear the sound of the future? You feel
It's
it?
coursing through my chips, Choom.
That's right. Yep. Feel it in my chromes. I feel it deep in my
What?
chromes.
Your adrenochrome.
Yep.
What the hell is it called when you freak out? Not
Cyber psych.
cyber psycho.
Oh,
No.
there's a different one when you freak
Uh,
out.
I'll have to bring up the slang terms again, but it's not important. Yeah,
I didn't realize they
I'm
said there
living
was
in
another one.
I'm living in the future. This fire is burning. Let's just get them all out of the way now.
That's just
Uh,
lyrics. That's not even slang from the show.
uh, I'm
You
out
keep
of
using
I'm
what's the G? What's the
gonk.
gonk?
Whoa, watch out.
What?
I'm about to lose my eddies. I'm about to spill my eddies all over the
No
place.
more eddies for you.
I'm about to shoot my eddies all over the gab.
Everything is a sex. Everything is a sex thing.
Hey, brother. I'm gonna get you juiced up, brother. I'm about to fill you with my hot chrome.
I'm putting so much shit in your body, cuz.
You're gonna love my chip.
I can't believe how much you can hold, brother.
Oh, you're about to
I know.
blow. If I stuff another one in there, it's gonna be bad news. But I don't. Whatever. Hey, how are you?
You're like a human Doctor Who telephone boot man. I can put everything.
It's like a clown car in your
I can
ass.
use you like a house.
I can set up sticks down here in your ass, man. There's so much space.
Sense.
It's like why do you keep only getting enhancements to your asshole? Why don't you maybe spend some of these eddies on new arms or fists? Why is it always got to be your ass? I need to be able to fit more in there.
There's something I need to do, and it involves having a 3 cubic mile ass.
I'm finally living my own dream instead of somebody else's, and my dream is to fit an entire freight train in my asshole.
I'm opening 3 small businesses right inside my ass, and no one can stop me.
God damn it. Downstairs there's a retail space. Upstairs there are apartments. There's
There's an
you
alternate
can rent.
future where he invents the mall, but it has to be in his ass for some reason, just because he doesn't, because it's a new concept. He doesn't realize he doesn't have to be inside of his ass.
Upbeat pop music playing in the background while he moves in slow motion to Gabe's butthole. This is their light rays coming down from the sun as he's gaping his butt.
Man,
He's like, I can.
Man, you open up your asshole more than 3 times a day. You're gonna go psycho on us, boy. You're gonna go crazy psycho.
Yeah, I have a
handle it.
dream.
Okay.
Do you want to see? You want to see something cool? This is my dream.
This is
This is my dream. And there's pop music playing as she puts the entirety of the moon in her butthole. People have seen Cyberpunk at this point, right? I don't know.
The show. Welcome to the Cyberpunk Edge Runners podcast, everybody.
Yeah,
The
welcome.
episode of this podcast, anyways.
Yes.
We watched this.
We did.
Because people have been talking about it, so we figured it would be a good. That would be a good idea then to watch. It's not very long.
No, not at all.
10
10 episodes.
This got announced a long time ago. It got announced so long ago that people, were talking about Cyberpunk, the game / property / universe. I think it was like at E3. It was like now an announcement, and suddenly it was just fucking Yo-Yo Shinari and Imaishi standing somewhere, and just like nervously being like, "We're making a show," and it was like, that's weird, but okay. It's weird to see them there. I don't know.
Now, I don't know anything about the Cyberpunk game. That is during my dead period where I don't know anything about video games.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that game. I know that it came out and that it was like it came out initially, and people are like, "This game's broken," because it's a game that was made after 2013. So
Yeah.
like it's broken for like 2 weeks, and then
It was broken for
everybody
it was broken for longer than that. It was
either
taken
everybody.
it was taken off the PlayStation Store for 6 months because of
Oh,
how
what the
broken it
fuck?
was.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was fucked. It was in development for like 8 years, and it came out and it was busted as hell.
And it's one of those games where people either played it once and they're like, "This is broken," and stopped, or played it for like 170 hours or like 250 hours or something.
I don't think anyone got really that into it. It
I
was
know many people that got into it. I
really
know many people. Yeah, I know many people that played Cyberpunk through multiple times.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I just yeah. I mean, I didn't play it, but like like just I pretty I if you just say every video game is gonna be bad, you're gonna have a pretty good track record of calling it. I I very much I gotta say I very much nailed No Man's Sky. Like day one that got announced, I was like, uh oh. Immediately, I was like, the people. This is not what people think it is. This is this is gonna be a problem. And then
Is there a
it was
difference?
a problem.
Is there a difference between games not being good and not being what people are expecting them to be? Like,
Well, and uh, I think in these in both those games I mentioned, it was kind of both.
okay,
But No Man's Sky was like unplayable. Like I can't believe it was like it was just like it was a total failure to just create like the busy work needed to just give you the that video game satisfaction where you're like checking off boxes because even just the UI was so unworkable. I can't believe it was designed by someone.
it was like
Um,
when Minecraft Survival Mode came out,
the
and it's like you
inventory
have
was
five
like
features.
it was it was so bad. And then Cyberpunk is just like it's just a insanely expensive open world game, so it's like just kind of it ended up it just everything about it looked very soulless to me.
Mm,
Like it's just like I mean it's named after it's just called Cyberpunk like it's
the genre.
yeah like and it's like what's the take here and it's like I don't know what it is and then it's like just like is Keanu Reeves in it because they really needed Keanu Reeves to be in it, or is he in it because they had $1 billion to make the game and he's like a meme guy and
Oh, I mean, they
get him on
succeeded in
stage?
that. They got a great meme out of him. They got they got tons of press, and his him at that press conference
Oh
is a
yeah, it
meme in its own
worked,
right.
but
Yeah,
that's I doubt he's like I doubt that's a good compelling character. It's just
sure.
like Keanu Reeves. He's probably just like
Whoa, whoa.
everything about that game. That's like the aesthetic of video games is like really like embarrassing, fake cool, where it's like guys with aviator sunglasses and like lesbian ninja ladies.
Wait,
Um,
hold on. Keep going. I
no,
might be
what?
into this.
No.
This might be sick. Do they drive fast cars?
Um, there are cars. Yeah, you can drive
Uh
cars, I
uh
guess.
uh oh.
No, no, don't.
You had me with lesbian ninja ladies.
You know
do
the
they do
kind I'm
they
talking about. Not.
do they have crazy glowing eyes and like big robotic fake boobs?
uh, Probably not. No, I mean like it just it seems it seemed very. It just seemed everything about it seemed really safe. Like I can just imagine it's just
Hmm.
like one of those games where you're just like walking around this like supposedly very fleshed out world, but it's just like NPCs walking by and just like saying random futury stuff to
Get
themselves. You know
it's
how
GTA stuff,
yeah
but with slang.
yeah it's just like oh my chrome's getting zoomed. Just like just muttering things just to make the world seem not empty around
Yeah,
you. And
yeah.
there's probably like
It's like
it's like
going
Mafia
to
2 and you get Nolan North talking to another character also voiced by Nolan North.
Galaxy's Edge in Orlando. You know, it's like you got a bunch of people dressed up in Star Wars outfits, but you can only really walk through it. And then it's not like you're gonna fight with any of those bounty hunters. They're just there to sell you. They're just there to sell you Coca Cola in a thermal detonator bottle.
Yeah, all video games are essentially theme park rides. but there are better theme park rides than other ones. Um,
Anyway, yeah.
so
So this
so
is
then
this
so
is
then yes, that's the reason why this is interesting is because this got announced years ago, and it's like this game's incoming. It's the biggest game ever. I know it's not going to be very good. And then Trigger announces they're doing a tie-in, and tie-ins generally aren't very good. And it's like, and then the game comes and goes, is like totally gone, completely out of the public consciousness, pretty much. And then like I don't even know how long ago it was released at this point. It must be at least a year and a half, something. And so they took their time on this, and then it comes out, and like I was expecting it to be totally empty and just somewhat dumb and flashy because it's Imaishi, and he's great, but it's just like he's not if he's someone or something like he needs to, it seems like sometimes there's something reining him in and sometimes there's not. Like I was expecting like weird gross out humor, like
yeah.
just weird panty and stocking stuff where there's just like poop, and then um, just
Characters going chibi after somebody like busts a nut or something, and then they got their tongue sticking out. You rubbing the back of his head. He's like hee hee, like
yeah,
that kind of shit.
just like too much, like just ease it back a bit, and like panty and stocking was kind of on the edge of that. Sex and violence with Mach Speed was just like too much. Tone it down. Uh, but and also like so it's like it's Trigger, and they're like doing this thing for I don't even know who I don't even know who funds this. Like, does the game is either way? They're dealing with non-Japanese people bankrolling this, so they
Yes,
could have just shitted out something of absolutely no
right.
like effort, and just like because people are like, hey, make an anime, and it's like, okay, it's action scenes and people fight and there's future stuff, and that's people hack into things, and people are like, we're getting hacked, and like they could have been like, all right, guys, we're getting the the whites are paying us to make an anime. We can all go home.
Well,
We can all go to sleep.
well,
We can all sleep in
to
our own
me,
beds
it
finally.
reminds me of when they get Platinum to make like a tie-in game to a Western property. Like when Platinum Games made like a Legend of Korra game and like a they did like a fucking Transformers game,
Teenage
and
Mutant Ninja Turtles, was that? Did they do one of those?
they did a TMNT as well, and
Okay.
it's like it's a 4 hour game that costs $15, and like it barely runs at 720p,
Yeah, like
and they're like it's
sucks.
like good enough, but
Eh,
but
yeah.
uh, but that's I've always yeah I in some ways have found analogs between like Platinum and Trigger, which might not actually exist anywhere other than in my own head,
There are
but
definitely there are similarities in tone and style.
yeah.
So, Imaishi, he has amazing like compositional and directorial skills, but he's not like he's pretty ADHD. Like he usually doesn't provide like, you know, like it's it's usually not it's usually mostly visual, you know. Uh
Here's my thing is that like whenever I'm watching an Imaishi thing that is 26 episodes, I'm like this easily could have just been like 16. It's like there's usually like a bunch of kind of extraneous stuff that doesn't need to be in there that I feel like I'm wasting my time. That and I don't know if it's related to the ADHD thing, but like with Kill la Kill in particular, I'm like I got to several parts in that where I'm like, can we just fucking move on already? Like I feel like this thing's losing focus and it's getting like in its own way. And this is only 10 episodes, of course.
yeah, yeah. Um yeah, so uh I it's I thought too much about it. Now I got stuck. I got stuck. It's like yeah, you can make things can just go too fast. I was just basically expecting like the 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 most unhinged parts of Panty and Stocking, and like
Uh-huh.
just a show without like you know, Gurren Lagann is it's like that at least has like themes and stuff. I don't really I really like Kill a Kill, but I don't really know what it's about. It's something about clothes and it's like freedom or something, and I don't just it was all like jumbled. It was good, but I was like came away from it like I don't know what all that
Oh
stuff was
yeah.
about with like the aliens and the clothes and the threads
Kill
and
a
whatever.
Kill puts your
Five
brain through the blender where you're like you come out on the other side and you're like it looked cool. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it had a
like
good ending,
yeah,
and like you said, yeah,
yeah.
it takes a big old dumperoonie right in the middle of the show, and there's a whole
Oh,
arc that you
same
don't
shit
need.
with Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann does the same
There's too
thing.
many mini bosses, yeah, in Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Um, and he just does like he doesn't do like big twists and turns in like the story. That's not what he's there for usually, except for like the one in Gurren Lagann. But like what's really going on mostly is like nothing. We're going from point A to point B, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be fun. And he's gonna have the same shot from three different angles, like in Fooly Cooly, in Real Bullet when she busts through the door, or you do the shotgun.
Of course.
So there's okay expectations set, and and so um so then the first episode. And we've talked a lot about this. Shows starting off with a meaningless, over-the-top action scene with people we do
Correct.
not know, and I'm watching it. I'm like, yes, this is what they are obligated to do. This is what this is action scene because it's action sci-fi show, and they're just doing a
Yes.
crazy psycho man action scene because it's the future and
Yes.
it's a scary man who's strong and big. And at this point, I'm actively suppressing this because it's just too depressing, and I can't get my hopes up after all these years. But there's still this tiny little voice deep down inside my head that goes, hey, what if this is actually some kind of meaningful setup where like this will be given more context later, and this will actually make sense and not be a total nonsensical display of
Violence
violence.
dump. Yeah.
And I went, shut the fuck up, brain dude. No one would do that because that would mean someone cares and knows what they're doing, and this
Oh
is an
boy.
actual story. And that's the whole show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like
it does pay off.
it's the whole thing. It was like, oh,
Yes.
I can't. When I realized they were doing it, I was like, I can't believe they're doing it. I can't believe
Slow
they're doing
motion. It's a
the
slow motion
only
train wreck.
the only thing the only right way to start a show with that. And I was like, no, no one has ever done that. No, this has never happened. No one has ever not fucked this up. And it's fucking the whole thing.
Yes. The
And
entire premise of the show is built around ending up in that place. It's all
it's and this is I you know how much I love like unavoidable fates. And
of course.
that's
Of
what
course.
every good thing's about. Every great story is like a perfect circle. And 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 yeah, it's like uh
Well, it's also not just like the narrative. It's also the side characters are all built to reinforcing this. You know, like the main character, his whole sort of, I mean, the plot is leading him there. His own emotional arc is leading him there. It's this constant repetition of, it's like I'm different, I'm special, I'm not going to end up in that same place as this guy from the beginning. It's all leading towards it. It's a really nice bow. It does carry it, and I do have qualms with the show, but there's definitely nothing I could say about like that. You know, the overall trajectory of the main character in relation to like how they cleverly open up, you know, the show, and um, Yeah,
Yes,
it
I
was
mean,
extremely satisfying.
who could have foreseen that? Like, that's what's so great about like that you can show someone something that makes no sense and is nuts, and then you can actually make it plausible. And the crazier you make it, and the more impressive it becomes that you can do that. And that it's like someone was actually fucking thinking for two for about any of this, and and just the the best part about all this to me is like the kicker to all of this. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect. It's that like the like the the word cyberpunk. I mean, really, just the word punk in general is like is like a an it's like anti-information. It purposefully means exactly the opposite of what it nominally is supposed to be,
Uh-huh.
and it has like this vanguard of fucking dipshit gatekeepers who will like like fucking like smugly explain to you the rules of punk, and if you're doing it wrong, and they see no irony in this.
Of
And there's
course.
like people, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but it has to be true. There's like fucking people with like PhDs who will write like thousands of words about what like cyberpunk is supposed to be, and it basically just amounts to like you have to you have to basically follow the same rules as like what you show on HBO. It's like it's just like it's there's there's absolutely like nothing to it. And then
Well,
you
yeah.
fucking people like pass this concept to fucking Hiroyuki Imaishi, and through the language barrier, and through even though the people like giving him this don't even understand what they want, he is just like, oh, here's what you actually want, and he just fucking makes you feel it instead of like
Oh yeah.
he just actually like gives you the information through audio visual experience, which is what a fucking TV show is supposed to be. You fucking dipshits.
Well, the
And
thing
it's
is that
not
like when I
like,
was
no, you have to explain to the audience that the cops are bad. You have to have them beat up a Mexican guy. And it's like, oh, Imaishi's like, oh, I know what you actually want. You want uh to like you wanted a world of constant anxiety
oh yes.
that feels like a the whole show feels like you're on a bender that that you're telling yourself will stop as soon as things quote calm down. And it
Well,
just
you're
never
yeah.
lets up.
Well, you have a society that's churning out monsters basically, where you've got like the situation that these people are put in results in them heading down this path of crime and further enhancing themselves in order to fight back against the systems that keep them in this place where it's like this is what they can do to scrape out a living is by further putting their bodies on the line, putting them it's the edge runners, going further and further to the edge where it's like okay, I'm almost to this, because at a certain point, the protagonist has this loose ambition of getting his lady to the moon, basically, right? Like that's
Yeah.
his arc, or that's what his ultimate goal is. Um, but at a certain point, he's living in this like super upscale apartment, like way above the city, living like a crime lord lifestyle, and yet he is like completely devoid of meaning. He's not like enjoying this life that he's made for himself at all. He's just continuing to exacerbate his suffering and bring himself further and further into this crime world. And it's like it just seems like the only thing that he can do. It's the natural result of this society that they've made, which it's there are elements of it that are farcical. Where you've got um, like private medical emergency response teams that just will leave people like dying in the street and shit. And it's like I get it. That's a conceit of the genre. That's a conceit of like the world. But once you've like accepted that, which I did, I pretty much accepted the parameters of this world within the first episode, and after that point, like the logic of the world makes a lot of sense. Like once you're in that environment, once you've accepted that, everything just follows logically from there, which I really appreciate. It reminds me of a long movie. It doesn't feel like a TV show to me. It just feels like a 4 or 5 hour long movie, however long it is. Maybe it's like three and a half or
Mm-hmm.
something. Um, and it has that tightness. It feels like a good crime film. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's better cyberpunk than cyberpunk. It's better crime story than GTA. And yeah, like people will just like the concept of cyberpunk shouldn't even exist. There shouldn't even be genres really. It's like, but people like that's just what people like, just invent a completely arbitrary like thing, and they just like overthink it into in a downward spiral into like total nonsense. It's like one of those like when you do like a math equation and then you keep like reducing it, and every step technically
Oh yeah.
makes sense, but then you end with like 1 equals 2, and people will just like invent like, okay, this is what cyberpunk is, and they'll get mad about what this thing that they made up is supposed to be. And it's like, why isn't everything just good? Like if Star Trek, if you took Star Trek and just put them on a literal boat and made it like the Bronze Age and replaced all the technology with magic, would it fundamentally change the show? It shouldn't, because uh, it's about people. So you shouldn't be
Yes.
thinking about things in terms of cyberpunk or whatever fucking like that's just trappings.
Yeah, and here's another thing: is that like we've talked at length about at this point just about like the success of the narrative, and the success of the story and the themes, but it's also just a like balls to the wall, tits up, fucking awesome blowout, spectacular technical fest where they have in the opening they have a call, like specifically the background artist is called out in the opening, and that motherfucker put in some serious goddamn work in this show. The environments of the city are so well drawn, not literally but also like, I mean, literally but also like figurative. It's like you really feel the spaces that they're in. Like there are very few instances I could point to where I'm like, this is falling apart a little bit technically. It's almost always on its fucking A game,
I
and
hope
it really
I
sells the world.
I mean, I hope they took advantage of like another, like just whoever's funding this. Hopefully, just like not knowing how much anime
Oh
costs and
yeah.
just being. I hope they, you know, I assume they probably didn't want to be like rude or whatever. But I hope they took a little bit of advantage. I hope they had a good negotiator, like, because I bet like, there's fucking like. How much does an episode of like Game of Thrones cost? Is it like it's got to be like million? It's in the millions, right?
I believe that Game of Thrones was $20 million an episode by the end.
What the fuck?
Let me confirm
You
this.
got really, really quiet. You like
Well, let me
you're
confirm this.
barely audible.
Am I still quiet?
Yes. You're insanely quiet.
Oh no.
I might just have to boost you.
How about hello, hello, hello,
Nope. You're very almost inaudible. How about now?
hello, hello, hello,
You're
hello,
still I got you 200%. You're very, very quiet. Oh no.
hello?
Nope. Nuh-uh.
Hold on.
Quiet.
Hello.
Oh, that's now you're too loud, but
How about here? What if I said it right here?
that's pretty good.
Okay, sweet. So I looked it up. Game of Thrones. Um, the in the final season of Game of Thrones, every episode of Game of Thrones cost $15 million. So
Yeah, that's a
yes,
lot.
so I'm
Yeah.
sure that this show in its entirety cost probably less than $15 million. So
Yeah,
I
well,
don't even know how much
I
that
like
costs
to.
anymore.
I don't know if it was like. I mean, it probably was. I don't know why I keep thinking of CD Project Red like doing this, because they're probably not doing it. But I like to think of them just being like, eh, eh, you uh, you want the triggers like um, you know, it's a half mil per episode, and the Polish guys or whatever country they're from are like, oh no, we want full show, like 24 minutes, like 5 million. Is that good? You know, and they're like, yes.
Very
Because like
good.
I vaguely remember the sort of urban legend. I mean, like 10 years ago, the word on the street was that like an episode of anime was like 100 to 250K.
Yes.
I think like just to that's like not including like initial costs, like whatever, like hiring character designers and all the that's just like putting the shit on
Yeah.
anime, drawing the thing. So it's probably gone up, but I have to imagine that got this. I hope this got a little. If it didn't,
It sure
yeah,
feels like
it
it.
definitely had to have. Yeah, and yeah, it's fucking. It's like it's. I think it's the best thing Trigger has done. I can't
Oh
think
no,
of.
I don't know that I disagree with that because Kill la Kill. You said you really like it. I am uh, pretty positive on Kill la Kill. I don't know if I go so far as to say I like love it, but I thought it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
So I would say based on the stuff that I've seen from Trigger, including their movie, uh,
Oh yeah.
I guess
You even
including
saw.
including
I didn't see
Promare,
Promare.
Promare, yeah.
Con, Con
Uh,
Air.
Con Air. No, that's a movie right there.
Yeah, that's a goddamn movie.
No, I'd say definitely because what have I seen? I've seen Kill la Kill. I watched the Little Witch Academia movie, the other Little Witch Academia movie, and the first episode of a couple of things that seemed boring. So I
yeah, I mean, yeah, Darling in the Franxx was a disaster. To be fair, they didn't do the second half of that one. Kids
like
Niver,
SSSS Gridman. Like I don't care about that.
decent,
Brand New
actually,
Animal.
but yeah, a little weird, a little off kilter. Uh, it's, that Star Wars thing. I don't know. I always come away thinking like I like that. I guess it like Space Patrol Luluco. I was like that was okay. Sure. Inferno Cop's funny.
They.
Well, you're gone.
I'm gone again. Hello.
Oh, now you're
Hello.
hello. Yes, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know. Trigger stuff. Trigger
Back.
stuff is stuff that I like conceptually more than I've ever liked the execution of. And we have to get to my few things that I have to say that I did not care for in this. I say not, and these are low. These are not extremely strong criticisms. What the fuck is the deal with the incessant and constant cutting off of like the first pronoun in a sentence? It is so weird and distracting.
I mean, yes. So we the subtitles, which are just like a transcript of the dub, for me were unwatchable.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first line, like multiple words did not have spaces between them in the first sentence. So like, okay, these are just busted. So I don't know if there are good subtitles available. But the dub, the acting is good. But for some reason, they decided to just flatly copy over the Japanese convention of not using the like subject of a sentence, because in Japanese it's usually just implied, so you don't use the word like they don't really use like the and me or you or we. But in English, shit doesn't work that way. And when you start multiple sentences with gotta and have to and said you, like everything's like said you were gonna do this, gotta check on, and it's like why isn't anyone saying you or me? This is so weird. And then also a choice they apparently made is a lot of the conversations are over the phone or text or something, and there's English text on the screen.
Yes.
And I have to assume that was originally there in Japanese, and then just was not changed, was not edited, and then they just deliver them and they don't even try to deliver them sounding right. So like they're repeating words for no reason, and everything is extremely off kilter and bizarre sounding, even more than the rest of the show, and it's completely baffling. It's weird that people like I would think you'd be in the booth, you'd be like, no, I'm gonna. Can I just say it right? Can I just say the sentence right?
And then people
Does
won't
we
be reading it anyway
do
because
we
it doesn't
have to?
matter.
Yeah, do we have to copy what's on the who? Like, this is a. I can't say this. I speak English. This you hired me to speak English for this. I can't do this. This is like some kind of violation of my contract. I can't say these words in this order. This is nuts.
Now, that's a minor quibble, which is weird to say that in anything of any level of inferior quality to this, it would be completely insufferable. But it's kind of it just becomes a quirk of the show at a certain point, and you kind of integrate it into your watching, and you just accept it.
Yeah, at least
It reminded me
excuse of like it just feels very weird and alien, which is
right,
just,
yeah,
you know,
it's the
fine.
future. It reminded me of The Dark Knight Returns, the comic book by Frank Miller.
Yeah.
That Dark Knight Returns, in that it's a dystopian future, and there's a bunch of punk teens wearing visors and shit, saying like Billy don't shiv and shit like that, like saying like a whole bunch of Billy up on out of here real quick. Jimmy, Billy don't shiv. Billy, get up on out of here. Methinks Batman might be coming down to shiv.
they're all Jar Jar.
and it reminded me of that, and I was able to put up with that. The dub is, I would say, various cast members do various levels of quality of delivering lines, of course, because it's a dub. I'd say that the protagonist was voiced pretty well.
Yeah.
I found that in combination, this is the very beginning in the first episode, because of the combination of the weird grammatical structure that they've adopted for this, and the lady's accent. I thought that David's mom seemed it was bizarre and so over the top.
It's funny that she's like a pretty anime lady, but she's Mexican. And
it's very strange.
He's like a hyper zoomer. He's like the most
Right.
zoomer guy ever.
It's like mijo, I just want to be able to go to school.
Oh, my son, I just want you to learn.
I don't want to. I don't.
Okay, mom. Jeez.
I hope I don't die in a car accident.
I sure do love driving at 130 miles an hour, son.
Oh my god.
I hope nothing happens to this half ton of TNT I have in the back seat, mijo.
Anyway,
Whatever, Mom. God.
Yes.
I fucking hate you, cunt.
I
don't.
I'll never.
You with a gun and you explode.
Yeah, I hope that this car gets into an accident and
I regret my words.
Shot with a gun. And then it's like, mommy, oh, no, mom, you can't, no. But I also, I thought it was a little corny at first, but I love them going back to her ashes. It's great. One of the best moments of the entire show is when the protagonist he's become a crime lord at a certain point. And he's going and doing jobs, and he started to dip into. He had previously only been doing stuff that was like against corpos, like stealing from businessmen or killing thugs, and then he ends up doing a mission that goes wrong, and he starts going cyberpsycho a little bit and shoots an innocent lady in the face, and then immediately sees this image of her and her son on her son's graduation, and then. The guy goes home and sees a very similar image of himself and his mother. It's terrific. It's such a like, because once that happens, he's got to die. It's like once he killed an innocent lady.
I mean, I knew from like in the first third of the show, I was like, if this cannot have a happy ending, this is ruined.
Right,
if anyone is happy at the end of this, if anyone's alive at the end of this, this is not good. I was like. Okay, definitely. They're setting up the moon so much that someone's going to the moon, but are they going to be dead when they're on the moon? Or
yeah, of course.
Are they going to go to the moon to die, or they, but someone's ended up on the moon somehow, But if it's like they go to the moon and it's like happy and that they're glad they're on the moon, then that would be the wrong choice. That was not the choice that was made.
But they did make the exact right one, which was like it's not a miserable like wallowing sort of ending. At least not for the main character. It's but no, but he finds his satisfaction in the end. Like he gets what he wants. Obviously, it's not under the circumstances that he would have wanted it, but it's not like it's an utterly miserable thing. He has effectively accomplished his mission and is like able to get a quip in before he gets shot in the fucking face. That's a win for him. That's a
well, like the whole show. I mean, like he sees his own inevitable death multiple times, and the whole show has this extremely claustrophobic, like frantic searching for a way to escape, and there is just nothing. There's nothing there to grasp onto. Like everything is completely inevitable from the start. So the only thing you can hope for an ending is like that you can there's no escape, but you have to be able to. The main character has to be able to leave something. I was hoping he would. I was hoping she would be pregnant at the end or something like that. But I guess it's just like her. That's the one problem is like, our main girl is Lucy, and she's just not interesting enough for my man to die like that.
She gets sidelined.
Well, they give her a whole backstory episode, and that's really one of the biggest problems. Is a bad backstory. It's boring. It's very boring.
Oh,
you know
the
how
cliche
much
of all cliches.
You know how much I hate kids in labs.
Of course,
everything was pretty creative up to that point, and hard as shit. I mean, it's so fun. I mean, we'll get to like, but oh my god, it's like Imaishi does the like. He has the, like the fucking hard shading with like the comic book thick lines, the Gurren Lagann, like, eye catch shots,
Dudes gritting their teeth really hard and having crazy wild huge eyes.
Oh my
that kind of shit.
God, it's like, why did he go so hard? As the kids say, they didn't have to go this hard. This is also, by the way, this has got to be the most violent thing ever animated, like more than like 90s OVAs and just crazy like shock shit. It is like dozens of people explode in absurd detail every episode.
Well, that was when I had no idea what cyberpunk was at all. And I didn't know. I figured Netflix adaptation of video game. I'm like, this is gonna be very safe. And then
I saw
the first episode.
I have people on Twitter who I like, but like how like sometimes you'll just know a guy who just somehow all of his predictions are wrong, or like all of his like I have guys who I just like they're always wrong about everything. So when I see someone being like, "Yo, this show is like the real deal. This shit's really good," I'm like, nope. He's okay. Every 3 months, he's like, "Oh, this is it. This is the big one about any like media, like current events."
Yeah.
It's like everything is like, if he downplays something, I'm like, "This is a bigger deal." Or if he, if he upsells something, I'm like, "No, this is nothing."
Of course.
So it was like, nah, I got my guy who's wrong about everything. He likes the show. I'm like, this is gonna be very good.
So yeah, like introduced immediately in the first episode, we got dudes just getting jacked off in public. We've got dudes in VR getting their dick sucked by a robot pussy in public.
Oh yeah, there's so much nudity that they're like, at some point it just seems like they're just like bragging. They're just like flaunting it.
We got pussy in your face. We got dudes getting their dick rode.
Yes, there's pretty much everything short of full-on penetration. There's entire scenes where people are nude the whole time just because they're in their house, and I guess you can do that. So
you don't even got like a real body anymore, so and then also in the first episode, like instantaneously, we got dudes getting ripped in half, and then we got eyeballs popping out all over the fucking. It reminded me of like the glory days of extremely violent OVAs, in like the 80s and 90s. It reminds me of like Cyber City,
Yeah,
where you
but
got dudes just getting ripped in half.
yeah, but even those would like they would have like that would be they would have like 2 or 3 crazy shots in the whole thing just to
Yes.
have even before they didn't have gifts back then, but they were like people are gonna see this and show someone and they're gonna be like holy shit dude that fucking
Well, yeah,
guy's head
in,
exploded
in
like an Angel Cop
yeah.
when the and just like it's like I don't even remember what happens in Angel Cop, but then a lady's head explodes, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they got and you have like 8 frames of actual gore, and then it cuts away to blood splatter. Or like maybe something will pass through the frame. And then this, you've just got dudes with their jaws hanging open and eyeballs hanging off their fucking destroyed skulls and shit.
Yes.
And apparently that's what the game is like too, is from my understanding. I spoke to the few people that I know that played the game, and they're like, oh yeah, like the game is exactly like that, where you've got dudes just getting absolutely fucking mutilated. We got in this show, you got a lady with a cyber whip that just chops people up into cubes. It's
I don't even remember that lady.
that's Lucy has like the whip that she's able to.
I don't remember her using it though. I remember her trying
She
to
used
use
it a couple
once.
times.
Oh, okay.
Used it a couple times, but yeah, she chops people into pieces with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'm very glad that you enjoyed this as well, because I after like the first 2 episodes of because again Netflix adaptation of video game, I'm like I don't know about this. I didn't even know that I didn't even know Imaishi did this. Like I had no idea at all.
His name's in big words in the credits. Or you mean
right right, exactly. And then we get to the end of the first episode of like oh shit, that's right.
It's
and
like,
the music,
like it's Imaishi at 11 Imaishis out of 10, but also somehow sensical, which is I've never seen it happen. It's usually one or the other. Like it can just be fun nonsense, or it can be like, okay, we have to do 24 episodes of this, so we have to kind of make it make sense. But it's like this is it's coherent. I do think it blows its load a little early. Like it's basically like we've pretty much figured everything out in episode 6, which is the best episode because it's the end of the mentor character of cool black guy, and it's the best episode. It's one of the most like fantastically like paced and directed thing. It's like fucking panic inducing. Everyone's shouting, but not in a way that's like annoying. It's like there's just shit happening, but all of it makes sense. There's so much swearing in the show, but given the circumstances, it is pretty justified, I guess.
Well, there's like characters just keep making bad decisions in that episode, and it's just like every bad decision is followed by another one and another one, and the main character is given multiple opportunities to just make the right decision and get the fuck out of there, and he can't bring himself to. He doesn't have it in him to just stop. He's too far in, and yeah, that is definitely a highlight for sure. For me, one of the highlights is in the second episode, where we've got Lucy and David, the main character, share a VR experience where they go to the moon. So you basically get like a manic pixie dream girl sequence, where she's like showing him her world, but then there's still a great rug pull at the end. Really good endings to episodes in this. Like they really make you want to keep going. Where he's like, okay, yeah, you thought this was your manic pixie dream girl, and she will be in like 2 episodes, but for now, she's playing you.
Yeah. I was like, I can't remember if I like, I was either hoping that was gonna happen or like I was like, okay, yeah, that's what you gotta do there. Yeah, I guess, I mean, we didn't really explain. His mom is paying for his school by like taking the cyber parts from crazy people who died and selling them on the black market. And so when she dies, he takes this spine she had, makes him go real fast, and it has the name of a country for some reason. It's called the, what was it called?
I can't. Don't even bother asking me. Sassafras.
Satanis. No, it ends in
The squat.
stan. It's a
The
like
swamp. The Squambatalay.
da-
The squeegee bungler.
Sandanistan, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Why would it be called that? What is it?
The Santa Claus, starring Tim the Toolman Taylor.
The Sandinista National Liberation Front. I don't think that's what related. Founded by Carlos
Sandanistan.
Fonseca.
Sandevistan is what I've got.
Sandevistan. Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay, that makes sense. No, it doesn't, but that sounds okay. Yeah.
Apparently, this does exist in Cyberpunk. I have no idea how much of this is in the game. Not that you know, but
Cyberpunk is based on a role on like a tabletop game, I think. That no one had ever heard of before, like the game was announced. So that's weird. Like a tabletop game, like invented by like an old black guy who looks like Reggie Watts.
Oh yeah,
this is just the weirdest. This has gone through so many layers of everything about this should be a mess. You know,
Cyberpunk 2020 is the game.
What? No, it's
No, the tabletop game is Cyberpunk 2020.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, that's not far enough in the future.
Well,
we got to put it
now.
further.
We can't. We can't have that already happened.
Yeah, it can't. That's not the future anymore.
Actually, I mean, the game was announced in like 2013 or 2012 or something. So like, but they were probably like, it's not enough. We need to bump that up a bit. There's I don't love like VR hacking, but
Sure.
I like the art style they do for it. It's like I don't know, it's pretty good.
Oh god, you set a screenshot up from the sequence where Lucy breaks him out of the ambulance or whatever. Oh my god, what a sequence! Where she knocks the gurney out of the back of an ambulance and the lights are streaming by. Holy fuck, that is hot stuff, man. That is. That was like the moment where I'm like, fucking A, this is so sick, because it's the perfect welcome to this different world sort of situation. You know, it's like the epitome of like you're not in Kansas anymore, presented in a really extreme visual way, where like he's been just completely removed from the world of a kid that's going to school and fucking shorting out the system. Also, the scene where he goes to school and just kicks the shit out of his bully. It's so satisfying.
And then the bully's dad, who's the lead, who's like basically the most powerful man in the world, is like, I like this guy who beat up my son.
Yeah.
Human lives are completely expendable. You're totally desensitized to nudity and everybody exploding into the mist every second. And
well, people are going.
The entire time you just like everything is like everything is set up to get to this outcome, and you can't do anything to avoid it because you're so busy fucking dealing with other shit.
God, you know, I did have one thing to note, which is that this Cyberpunk Edge Runners has an issue that plagues all media about broke people, which is why is this mom's apartment so huge? Why do these broke people in media always be having huge apartments? Also, it has the window from Ghost in the Shell. It's got the Ghost in the Shell window, so he can sit in front of the big skyline. So he's got this gigantic apartment with a huge window that looks out over the city, but he also cannot afford to wash his clothes. But whatever, that's how it goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did imply that like that she made a surprising amount of money, but like it all basically went towards like a school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's like they got a big apartment that's I guess supposed to be bad. there are just like bums, outside getting
Bums jerking them off.
with their auto jerks, yeah, strapped on.
There's a lot of auto jerking happening in the first episode. The doctor is auto jerking
Yeah,
while he comes in.
People stop auto jerking when the show gets more serious, but like the first 1 or 2 episodes are like everyone's loving the auto jerks.
Yeah,
People are
you're
just on
saying.
stairs and stuff.
You were saying that there's like less gross out stuff than in Imaishi. If there was a dog in this show, the dog would be humping legs and then getting jerked off by a robot for sure. You know how like Imaishi and Traeger stuff in general, they have a dog that humps stuff. That's like
that's a very in thing to do. Yeah.
That is a staple.
He is not. I don't know if he's literally done that, but yes, that's absolutely a thing that he would enjoy. Just to have a dog humping in the background.
Dog. There's definitely a dog that humps in Kill la Kill.
Its little legs like shuddering.
Yeah. It's got its eyes turned into one big X across its face. It's like that's definitely in Kill la Kill.
Oh yeah, the kid has a little dog or something, right?
Yeah, everything's humping in Kill la Kill though. People are humping and posing and stunting. Yeah. So the soundtrack as well is
I didn't look up if it was licensed. It sounds like a lot of it's licensed because it has lyrics and stuff, and it's all like really different. They really like that one song. I mean, it's good, but they play it like 3 separate times in the last episode, so you have like 3 false climaxes.
Rosa Walton's song
each
I really want to stay at your house is I think the one that's I really want to stay at your house is the song.
Oh.
And then there's also a black metal track that plays a couple times too.
Yeah, there's one, I don't know if it's the one you're talking about, but yeah, there's like a very ominous, like sort of droning guitar strummy thing that plays like during the most, like depressing and bleak moments. That's like insanely good.
Yeah.
What else? They didn't have probably enough time to give everyone a backstory, which I guess is fine. Some
of the team's a little underdeveloped.
Yeah. I liked Rebecca. They really didn't have to do that. That was the only one. That was like, all right, that part's unnecessary. Come on now. It's 5 minutes from the ending.
They got her pretty bad.
That's why would you do that? All the character design is so good. They got Yo Yoshinari on character design instead of directing, which is good. Sorry, but he's probably giving advice. At least he's talking to Imaishi. He's like, make it more boring, and that's good. So he evens it out. It's good.
Yeah,
you achieve good balance that way. We were talking about how the opening for some reason is by Franz Ferdinand.
Yep.
Which is a completely bizarre choice. I cannot really find a good defense for that. It's not. Franz Ferdinand makes music that could be in a commercial for a bathroom cleaning product. It's so fine. It's so like not. I don't know why Japan keeps bringing up Franz Ferdinand.
Well, I remember looking at their like interviews with them at one point, just because I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And they're like, there were a bunch of British dudes who were like, yeah, we when we first started, we could like barely play any kind of music, but we knew we just wanted to play dance music with guitars. so they taught themselves just enough guitar to play dance music.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we have zero aspirations to make anything other than guitar music that can be played at festivals. Thank you very much. And I have nothing against their music at all. It's also just odd that they didn't go for something insanely over the top hardcore, because that opening, the animation for that is fucking so awesome. It is the tits. And there's a slight disparity there in terms of like the the tone of the music and the tone of the visuals, but at the same time, I also didn't care. I was so bought in at that point. I think it only starts playing in the second episode, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And did you see the episode titles?
No, I did not.
Oh, they're all named, they're all song names. And it's a weird combination of like very recent, like gigantic hip hop tracks that I haven't heard.
Let's see.
Like 2000s like R&B tracks that I've also never heard.
Oh,
And then like All Eyes on Me is one of the episodes.
yeah.
It's like they're just Smooth Criminal. I guess that makes sense, but they're just all like it's like a few famous songs, and then like there's like a Justin Bieber song name, and like I mean I think these are the first results that came up. I assume that's
Kanye. We got a Kanye song in here.
Stronger's in there. There's
appropriate.
Like, there's one that's like like a white guy rapping track by like some guy I've never heard of, where it's like basically it's what I imagine Logic sounds like, where it's just like it's like a rap song and it's very by the numbers and it's about parents or something. It's like
folding your laundry.
Why does this have 800 million views on YouTube? I've never heard of this guy or this song. What the fuck is going on?
They got they got a track on here from Eminem. Eminem's one of them.
Like a newer Eminem song.
Weird.
Lucky you, lucky you.
Lucky you.
Yeah, that's that's like a Eminem. That's like a it's the most
It's no one's favorite Eminem song.
well, it's just it's the most standard trap beat, and but then that's like Eminem, and he has another guy with him that's also rapping like insanely fast, but he's rapping about like, yeah, I do trap now. It's like, okay, yeah, of course you do, because you have to, because you're 50.
There was an interview with Eminem recently where he was talking about how he's like, yeah, as I got older, I stopped caring about making the best records. It cared more about being the best rapper. It's like,
that's such an insane thing to say.
Let me see if I can find the quote. I don't know if I'll be able to find this.
I just want to rap really fast. He's like David, man. He wants to fucking be fast all the time.
Who doesn't? Let's see. Okay, I don't care about making great albums. All I care about is being the best rapper. It's like, okay, I don't know what that means. Like, what's like? I guess it's like I'm the most technical rapper ever. It's like nobody gives a fuck. It's not fucking. It's not impressive to be a cipher rapper.
I will get. You gotta admit, plenty of people give a fuck. It's bad, but they definitely do.
They're like, he raps so fast.
I mean, that's what people think. Yeah, it's like if you rap faster, then that's better rapping.
Like, look at how intricate his rhyme schemes are. It's like, man, look at how fucking boring this album is. It's like there's no songs on here. He's not a songwriter anymore. Dude wrote Stan. There's nothing impressive about the rapping on Stan. It's like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's take a quick break from Cyberpunk, and I'll talk about the movies I've been watching.
Oh, I was gonna ask. Yeah, please do.
So, well, let's start. Wait, what the hell I've had 2 movie sessions since the last podcast.
Shit.
That's right. So there's a lot of, I don't remember what the. Oh right, on your recommendation, Steven and I watched Power Rangers 2017.
God, okay. How did you guys like Power Rangers 2017?
It's like you motherfucker. It's like maximalist is the word I would like. It's like yeah, it's like it actually didn't go far enough. Like I saw glimpses of it. It needed to actually be more indulgent.
Yes,
because
yes, yes. This is true. This is true. Yes.
It's like there's this really like jerk offy scene where they're all underwater for like 5 minutes, and you're like,
Yes.
what the? It's all been like terrible quips and jokes for like half an hour, and then it's just suddenly they're fucking floating in the
they're
in the water.
feeling themselves. They were like, wow.
And it's like, and yeah, just like too many jokes. They should have cut 90% of the jokes and kept the 10% that were funny. It should have been like, it should have been way more like crazed and hectic, and also like just fuck it outwardly pandering. Like, you know, the couple of moments where they just play the theme for like 10 seconds, and then they start playing Power, and you're like, all right, fuck it, fuck it, yeah, sure, fuck it. Fine, you know, the fucking main villain is like, she looks like she's from a Korn music video. It's like a new metal like bad lady. She's hilarious. Yes. It's awesome. But then the rest of it is bad. Is bad. There's this scene. They have to break for an action scene. So there's a scene where the Korean guy takes like a joyride in the big cat, and it like it's inserted into the middle of the movie in a way that makes no sense time wise. Like he gets back and seemingly no time has passed, and no one like even notices he was gone, and like apparently it's the same date. It makes absolutely no sense. It's crazy.
We had opposite experiences. So I went in without me having told me that the movie is not complete dog shit. I went in thinking
the Korean dude, like he can't speak. He can't even. He's the most mushed mouth. They just got a guy who looks like he can do karate, and is like, you know, like a handsome Korean guy, but he cannot deliver a single fucking line. What I did, you know what I did? Like, somehow I was seeing Dutch angles, like harsh Dutch angles, and they didn't feel weird. They didn't feel like crazy out of. I was like, how is this working? How is this Dutch angle not like giving me not Battlestar Galactica, Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth, yeah.
I was like, this is okay. This is somehow this Dutch angle is not nonsense. And also, the first two scenes are fantastic. Fucking awesome. That movie starts with Bryan Cranston saying, "Send the meteor to my coordinates," which is like it just dumps you right into that, and it's never explained. It's perfect. Because like you just get immediate like stakes that are just so nuts. It's like you don't explain how they can send a meteor anywhere. It's not part of. It's just like you just
activate
have to know
the Power
nuts.
Rangers movie. Activate Power Rangers movie 2017. I need Power Rangers movie 2017 to start now. That would be awesome.
And then the scene after that has like a good. Has like a good car chase where like the camera is stationary and it's just spinning, but you get a really good view of all the action. And he's like listening to like folk, like indie music, but it's all tinny in his car as he like drives away from the cops. And I was like, this is great. And it's dumb.
I wanted to see them make another one and double the budget. I wanted to see it go ridiculous. The thing is like the movie made money. It's certainly the best Power Rangers content ever made. And as far as like something that's presentable in like a movie theater setting, like there's just not, by default basically.
Power Rangers is it's a very cynical. It's like it's funny that I thought it's because the name Saban is always like it's like that's the company is like Saban. And I thought that was the original. You tricked you into thinking that's the original Japanese like company because it sounds so
it's
Japanese.
Mr.
Like,
Hein Saban.
Yeah, no, it's Power Rangers was like. Can you even say created? It was ginned up by like two 70-year-old Israeli guys.
That's right.
Thing. And their name is Saban, and it's like, is this a coincidence? Did they do this on purpose, dude? Are they fucking tricking me?
I was talking because so they have all the Power Rangers on YouTube, and That's what they just do now. Is like they just upload like every season to YouTube because it's worth more than to do that than to do nothing with it,
Hmm.
which is great. They've been doing that with like a lot of old properties actually, but and uh, I was reflecting on this recently. It's like God, what a slam dunk home run that is. You know, where it's like holy shit, you have you found the media property that you can bring to the states that's worth a fuck jillion dollars
Hmm.
that costs 30 cents to make an entire season. It's like you just rotate in a cast of not like first time television actors. You don't have to pay anything, and the sets cost. You can shoot on a single backlot every single episode in a week, and what a great layup because they were adapting Japanese animation and stuff. They were bringing over Japanese animation in like the 60s and 70s. But to be the one that's like, we're going to do it with the one that produces the most toys, that's fucking awesome. That's such a good get.
It
Probably
rules.
costs nothing.
Before we watched the movie, Steven and I watched it must have been the first episode or one of the first episodes of Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers.
Yes.
Because we thought the title was funny. And in that one, the Power Rangers have been transformed into children. Are
they all children, or is I know that one of? Oh,
but they have to call in a different set of Power Rangers from another planet, which I think is how you get action scenes with the Power Rangers. I don't know, but like, it starts out like the episode we watched. It's like they're all in like this parking lot, which is like it's like a sand parking lot for some reason. And everyone's like running away, and it's like bright daylight, and like one of the kids just goes like, "Look!" And it cuts to it cuts to Super Sentai footage, but it's like these giant villains, and then they're like, and then it cuts to like a skyscraper like falling in flames, and it's like, "Oh!" And it's like burning, and the whole city's destroyed, and then it cuts back to this sunny parking lot, and they're like, "Oh no!" And like a lady cop with a bullhorn is like, "Everybody evacuate!" And it's like the rest of the episode is like them doing funny hijinks to the villains who shrink down to normal size and like dropping them onto cardboard boxes and shit. And it's like, dude, it's the end of the fucking world. We saw the whole everything's gone. Just 89/11s just happened like 3 blocks away. What the fuck is going on, dude?
I saw one show where it was the most egregious example of cutting between Japanese and American footage I have ever seen. Where for one explosion, it cut to a Japanese police car exploding with Japanese people in front of it with Japanese text, and then it cuts back, and it's like it was a car is driving towards the camera, and then drives into another car that it cuts to Japanese footage for that. The Japanese car explodes. The Japanese dudes jump out of the way. Very obviously all Japanese men. It's really great. It's fun to watch the scenes in real time.
Oh yeah.
What was the other thing you watched?
Oh, we had a real hell of a double feature last night.
Okay.
Which was I don't know why they're not in my downloads folder, but we watched it because it is it's because I had the other one downloaded for a while. It is October. It is Vamptober.
Yep.
We're on the vampire movies, so we did watch Shadow of the Vampire, which is good.
I love that movie. It's got my boy Willem, special boy.
Willem Dafoe is good in that, but John Malkovich, I think, because when you're being Dracula, you just have to be as weird as possible, and people will like it. You just have to make weird you have to make weird snake noises and just weird body movements. But John Malkovich is a crazed psycho man who shouts in dialogue that is awe-inspiringly unhinged. It's like it rules. It's
also got
it's the correct way to make a movie about making a movie.
It's also got some other great actors. It's got Udo Kier is in that.
Yes.
And then Carrie Ills.
Their jobs are to just be weirded out the whole time.
And then Eddie Izzard also in there as well.
What?
So Eddie Izzard is in it.
Is that an actor?
Eddie Izzard is a comedian and an actor. Yes.
Oh right, he's the okay. Yes, yes.
Um. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's so that director Elias Mahersh, before he did
Al Maherj.
before he did Shadow of the Vampire, he did a movie called Begotten, which was his only other movie that he had done before Shadow of the Vampire.
Mhm.
Begotten, I'm not sure if you're aware of this movie or not, is an hour and 12 minute long experimental film. Uh, and it's like I, I've seen it twice. I think it's like a retelling of the Bible or something done in extremely graphically violent, esoteric manner. Um, it's a kind of notorious art film. Um, so that was his only other movie before Shadow of the Vampire, 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
And then he also did a short after called Den of the Celestial Birds, which is another kind of similar thing. Um, but yeah, kind of a weird anomaly of a movie, Shadow of the Vampire.
Oh yeah, it's a great if you want to read like some great like YouTube comments, the clips of that movie, people have people have fucking no idea what to make of that shit. I did not find it t- like people it's like a even split between people who think it's supposed to be a remake of Nosferatu, and they're like, no, the original's better. Because like silent movie people are like fucked in the head, and they think it's just the best thing that we've never surpassed fucking Nosferatu.
To be fair, Nosferatu is the tits, and why am I drawing a blank right now? I'll come back to it.
Birth of
Nosferatu, no.
What?
Nosferatu is the shit.
Um,
That's an important movie.
it's important. I don't approve. It's important. It's a big deal. People are saying.
Caligari, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari,
Oh,
also a great movie.
I love shrimp.
Yeah,
No,
baby.
God, switch. Fuck it. Whatever. And then we watched Over the Top.
The arm wrestling movie?
Yeah. Have you seen that?
How did you? No, I have not.
That is that is unbelievable. Because it's like people like it. It's like, it's like kind of like an ironic, like people like it because it's you'd expect it to be very silly, but very like very adrenaline pumping, like very just like just fucking guy ass shit.
Movies, 80s movie with the 80s over the top ridiculous movie with an action star in it, or like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, or like Bloodsport or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just like, okay, it's like not supposed to be good, but at least it probably has like, movies like that. It's like, okay, it's like people like it, but it's supposed to be like technically bad, so it probably just has like heart, but it's like, it's not like. But it turns out it's the opposite. It is a content free movie. It is like, it's estranged dad and son, and the dad is supposed to be like street smarts blue collar guy, and the kid is supposed to be from like a rich, like he's being taken care of by his grandfather who's like a insanely rich guy, but both lifestyles are absolutely spotless and lit in the most garish, hideous, freakish way I have ever seen a movie. I've never seen a movie that looks like this at all. It's like crazy. The first
Look
scene,
at this.
the first scene of him, he's like everybody's in this hat that's like floating so far above their heads. There's never been a point in America where that many people wear fucking trucker hats. And like the first scene of him like driving down the road to like 80s rock song with like vague generic lyrics that are like, in this country we believe, and it's like so nuts that I just knew that like that this truck is getting fucking T-boned. Like something has to interrupt this because it's like too weirdly uh like picturesque and like supposed to be good, but then it's just like the whole movie just keeps being that. It's like, and it's like you know, you keep expecting there to be some kind of like, oh, it's about like second chances, or it's about how like uh being strong. It's like just the basic realities of the plot keep giving the movie these like underhand softballs, and it like the way it dodges having any kind of point at every instance is crazy.
The movie without drama. The movie that has no twists.
Yeah.
The movie.
And you know, as many people always bring up about that movie, like the fact that like there's arm wrestling. It's like it's like one scene he just walks into a gigantic arena that's like packed with people. It's, you know, it's like there's no like context for how big of a scene this is, or like what is like, is he famous? Is he on TV? It's just like it's just a giant sports stadium full of people watching dudes arm wrestle. And everybody is, I didn't know it was possible for people to glisten as much as they do. It's completely absurd. Everybody's like, you should see the sets. Like it's all this like floral wallpaper and it like it's fucking it feels like a movie from '87 that was made entirely by guys who were like in their 80s and just had no idea. Like it also feels like whoever, and it was written by a guy who was like 70 at the time, but it also feels like whoever made it was like angry about it and just intentionally made it like there's like intentionally inserted just a ton of incredibly homoerotic lines and just like man, it's I could not believe it.
That's good stuff, man. Is that all that you guys watched? You watched?
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough to match. I watched 2 movies. I watched the film Hellraiser, which I had never seen before.
Yeah, me neither.
Now, I had been of the belief that Hellraiser was like a staple. It's a horror fan staple, but I was of the belief that it was more widely known than it is. People know Pinhead.
I think people, I don't know. I think, yeah, people like know the image of Pinhead more than have actually seen the movie. Probably.
Seems to be the case.
Yeah.
Hellraiser is one of the rarely am I more taken aback by a movie than Hellraiser, where it is first of all far more graphic than I would have thought. It is a movie about there's a puzzle box, and you open the puzzle box, and it releases these creatures called the whatever they're called. Oh, give me 1 second.
I don't even know what year is Hellraiser. I actually have no context.
Hellraiser is 87.
Oh,
and it was based.
Over the top.
It could not be farther from over the top. It is one of the darkest, lit.
Oh.
It is written, directed by Clive Barker, based on one of his novellas, The Hellbound Heart.
Yeah.
And first of all, I think that Clive Barker might actually secretly supposed to have been a film director his entire life. It is so visually complex and well executed. I was, because you hear, writer turned director, there are only so many examples of that. One of them being, of course, Maximum Overdrive, one of the best movies of all time, which I don't know, when was the last time you watched it?
The only time I watched it.
You gotta watch it again. Holy fuck.
That's probably some good ass shit, yeah.
But yeah, it is so dark and so brutal, and so sexual, and it's like in every element of the movie, and it's also borderline. It's not quite a bottle movie. There are maybe
Bottle?
three there bottle movie being like people are stuck in one place or there's only one location.
Oh yeah.
In this case, there are like three, and they briefly go to the two other ones, but it largely takes place inside of one house, which allows them to do fantastic sets and like amazing production design and terrific effects. Oh my god, the effects are so good. It is a gross, disgusting movie that is tremendously well executed, very pretty entertaining, we'll say. I was very happy with it. I'm looking forward to watching the second one, which I've heard is pretty good. So the demons are called Cenobites. So they're
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I remember that name.
so you got like the movie opens with this guy solving the puzzle box to let out the Cenobites because he's like a sadomasochist who wants to. It's they bring you pleasure and pain, and the Cenobites they derive their power from bringing pleasure and pain to people. It's all S&M shit, and way more S&M like for real than I would have thought for 1987.
Yeah.
It's no bullshit, no bap. And I also watched a movie called Sleepaway Camp. Do you know
familiar.
Did you know
I don't
Sleepaway
really
Camp?
know. I don't really know. I remember. I don't know much about it.
So Sleepaway Camp is a slasher film that is very, very of the. I would if you've never seen it before, I wouldn't look it up. I would just if you feel like watching a slasher movie at some point, I would watch it raw. It is a slasher movie that has one notable element that makes it distinct from other slasher movies.
What's the one that ends with like the guy who's actually a lady or something, and then he stares at the camera weird? Is that a different one?
So that is Sleepaway Camp, and,
Oh.
and the twist at the end of Sleepaway Camp is that the slasher, who it's not terribly difficult to put together who the killer is throughout the course of the movie. You know, they broadcast it pretty heavily, and they also broadcast the twist kind of heavily, more heavily than I would have expected. I'd never seen it before. I knew the twist already, and I watched it with some people that knew nothing about the movie whatsoever. And one of them had guessed it before the end of the movie. But you should definitely watch it with Steven, because I'd be very surprised if he guessed it. and I think it's yeah, you get a little girl. Got herself a hairy dick hanging off of her after she's murdered people. So might be worth watching just to hear Steven react to it. Like, what the fuck? The girl's got a dick?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's crying. He's crying. His eyes are completely swollen. He's like, whoa.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What?
Did you know this? Did you know the girl had a dick? Yeah. So that was pretty entertaining. And then I might try to catch that Avatar re-release in theaters, because they went back in and James. Do you know about James Cameron reinterpolating his own movies? Do you know about this?
Interpolate? Oh, you said something about this. Like, yeah, he's like converting them to 60 frames. What is he doing?
James Cameron is going back into his old movies and interpolating them up to, I think, up to 48 or 60, depending on the movie, to add 3D elements into them. And I'm gonna go see the Avatar one tomorrow. And my
3D,
understanding,
I mean, Avatar was already 3D.
well, it was to make it, in his mind, up interpolating it to 60 makes the 3D work better. He doesn't think that the 3D works well in 24. So he's gonna go back in and shit up his movies. So I'm probably gonna go see the Avatar movie tomorrow and report back with the results. My understanding is that there are sequences that have been brought up to 48, and then there are other sequences that are at lower frame rates, and it is apparently quite jarring, and people are not liking the way that it's working so far. So I'm interested to see it.
I mean, like, what does it even mean? Like, he went back and like, that's just an like, just you press a button and you can interpolate shit. Like is someone actually? No one's hand crafting in between frames for this fucking 3-hour long fully CG movie. Like, there's
My
no way.
my guess would be that so obviously he made the decision that he wants he wants to have those sequences at higher frame rates. They have a computer, they have like deep learning or whatever the fuck it
Sure.
AI, whatever nonsense, go in and interpolate everything up to 48 or 60, and then if there are, they might look at every individual frame and see if any of them are super broken, and then
Yeah.
repair them. Would be my guess. They have the money to do that for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I guess, if you're gonna like put something in a weird frame rate, it's a movie that's like entirely CG is, I guess, a better, a better choice.
yeah, I
Than,
don't know if they're going back in. They're doing it for Titanic as well.
oh, great. Yeah.
But but I don't know if I don't know if they went back in and like got the original assets and then upscaled everything. I have no idea. I'm going in with very little information, but I just want to see how it worked out. Um, Worst case scenario, I just throw up in my seat. So
Yeah. It's okay. This this AI shit sucks. By the way, I downloaded a copy of that Stable Diffusion. I can't get it to make one good thing, and I'm
Stable
definitely
Diffusion.
yeah, and that definitely doesn't say anything about my creativity, and I'm not looking inward. It's the robot's fault, and I tried to get it to make a picture of a cave painting of of uh, of Pikachu smoking a bong, and it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. I wanted to get a Vietnam style black and white photo of a garden gnome holding a Vietnamese man hostage with a pistol. Not even close. So
Oh, weird.
shit
It
sucks.
seems like both of those seem like layups. I don't know what the fuck.
I could give it the simplest shit.
Second row art style of
He
Makoto
he
Shinkai. Apparently, you can.
yeah,
Weird.
it's the to make in order to get it like to make anything even like close to you know coherent, you have to just like add all these fucking keywords like extremely detailed, high resolution, high detail, super intricate art style of generic deviant art guy who makes it's like people pass these prompts like through 9 different programs and do all this like crazy editing and you use their GPU for 3 hours to make like a pretty fantasy lady who if I saw it on like some image board I would scroll right past it and not think about it for 1 second. And they're like, holy shit, they're using it to make generic you know it's it's art ladies, like they're using it to make D&D character art lady
It is
in like the
funny that
woods.
I'm on the Wikipedia page for Stable Diffusion. There is a section that is just about 100 images of anime ladies.
And it's not good at
It's
making anime ladies either. I like,
no,
and you have to
no.
give it so many.
This one's pretty good. This is a good image as
Oh
far
yeah,
as like
that's
yeah. It's just as far as the
well.
image prompt is
That's an example that's always given is like,
ah.
and also look at it. Look, he has 3 fucking arms. Look at that. But there's this
I don't
guy.
see. I don't see the problem with having. As a matter of fact, I think it's a plus that he's got 3 arms.
But it's fun. Like what's really funny is there's a guy who's like, I forget his name, but like he's a very AI skeptic guy, and he's like, yeah, this is great. Try putting in horse riding an astronaut, and it fucking falls flat on its face every time, and it just does this. It does astronaut on a horse. It can't figure
Huh.
out. It can't reverse anything. It can't parse like position and meaning at all.
It's primitive. Primitive. They'll get there.
Yeah.
They'll get it there. Don't worry. There will be nothing
Mm.
original will be made by a human in 10 years. We're good. It's gonna have
Wow, that is a lot of Remus. Look at all these. Oh.
they're gonna have in 10 years we're gonna be just consuming nothing but stories of of space cowboys that are smugglers that live on the edge that are scoundrels but they have a heart of gold, and then we're gonna get 50 of those a year, and that's the only thing that's going to be made anymore is interquels between the Star Wars prequels and the original trilogy.
It's the only thing that will be made.
It's so funny that someone just wanted to put all these anime girls on this wiki page, and it's like demonstrations of how different text prompts affect the output of images. And it doesn't have the text prompts listed. You don't know what the prompt was. It's just a bunch of different Raymus. Someone just, it's just Raymu fans.
Let's see.
putting
Let's.
her on
I'm gonna.
stuff.
All right, let's find the favorite. Let's find our favorite Raymu here. I like the one that looks like
Um,
she's pregnant in the first one.
I see.
Yeah.
I like the one that sort of has half a tail in the bottom left corner.
The one that's naked too.
I don't see that
The one
one.
who's just got a, in the first image. It's the third,
Oh,
second
yeah.
second row, third from the
Yeah, a lot of the ones in the first image just look like a Kyoani, like a Kaon character. I don't know.
in the second image, you got one that's just a virtual girl, just a fucking whatever the hell they're called. What are the
VTuber?
girls? Yeah, just a VTuber, and the bottom right there, second from right on the bottom in the second image. That's a VTuber.
Oh yeah.
This is wow.
That's
The magic of
amazing.
AI. Lopsided titties, my favorite kind.
Oh yeah. It's bad at boobs.
The third
Yeah.
image seems to have the gigantic tit prompt every time. This
Yeah,
Look at
except
the
the
size
bottom
of this.
row. Yeah, most of these.
you could probably make a decent amount of money just uploading this shit onto DeviantArt and selling posters. You just there are some of these are like could just go up on DeviantArt. You could be like, I will sell you this poster.
It's so
I'm
oversaturated though. How many posters could you sell on, when there's already too many people who can draw. There's a shocking amount of people who can draw weirdly well, and now we have this, which if you look at it from far away, it looks fine. If you generate like 900 images and then take like the 5 best ones.
yeah. Yeah.
It's very
Well,
cyberpunk, you could say.
oh, it is. I am running very close to edging right now. We gotta shut this down before I choom.
Kid, you're going right over the edge.
Yes,
That guy's good.
but
That guy has generic tough black guy voice, but it was still good. His shouting was great. He might as well have said, you know, could never get the damn thing to work anyway. You take it, kid. It's like, it's good.
like when he always like if he dies, he gets to have his hands or his hand,
And he does.
big hand,
Yeah. And
and he does grow into it.
There's a time skip, and he becomes a super zoomer, becomes a crazed buff man. It's like, yeah, he really stops caring about his inevitable fate, and he doesn't really have a reason for that. But I guess, I don't know, he doesn't care or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you did it again, Maishi, and by again I mean you did it for real this time.
You did it for reals, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the best thing you've made since 2007. So take a bow.
That should have been one of the episode titles.
Take a bow, or the
That's
best thing you've made since 2007.
Well, no, Take a Bow is the name of a song, isn't it?
I'm sure
It's got to be like a Rihanna song or something.
that is a Rihanna song.
Oh
You've
my,
nailed
what?
it.
How did I
Yes.
call that?
Yeah, you hit that
That was
shit.
a total guess.
Yes, sir. You got to end on that. Take that fucking win to the bank, boy.
No, the copyright. Oh, you mean just
Oh, no,
just on being
I'm
right,
saying-
just on being correct.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
not being right about something.
Imaishi made a good show. We liked it, and you called out that Rihanna track. You're hipping with it.
I named a popular lady, and it was her.
There
I
you
was
go.
right. I gotta go through the rest of these screenshots, most of which are of Rebecca. Because I took all of them. I gotta. Man, it looks so good.
She's
Like the
I-
one where she's holding the gun to his head. The whole
She looks.
conversation.
I needed to look up if she's voiced by the girl Trigger always gets to because she looks like
Yeah.
the blue
Yeah.
girl in Luluko, who was voiced by Haruko from Fulikuli, who's just like
Or
who
the
doesn't
or
even do
the
voice acting except for like every 5 years when like Gainax or Trigger grabs her.
or
But
the,
they
the
just like
music lady from Kill la Kill, the little
oh
girl
right
with
yeah
the music club.
I don't think it was her, but yeah it could have been very similar character like design.
Watch the Imaishi Star Wars Visions thing. Did I talk about this a long time ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like it's probably just like a entirely an action sequence, and you're like yeah. I was like okay
That
yeah
is exactly what it is.
Imaishi yes. Because that's what I would expect him to do. That's what I expect him to do here.
You have 11 minutes. Go. This looks
Oh.
much better than the Star Wars Visions did.
Oh yeah.
Disney didn't give him that much money.
Hmm.
I'm gonna hit the John real quick. I'm gonna be right.
Oh okay. I'm gonna hit the John. Cool cyberpunk lingo, dude. That's such a tiny van. It's like barely even a van. It's just like a tall car. That's another thing. It's another really great Imaishi thing. It's just like things can just vary in size according to the size they need to be for effect, and it's not jarring. Like things will just change to absurdly huge because he knows what he's doing. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Hacking scenes kind of changes up to everyone's very bony when they hack. Look at this. This looks nuts. I mean, this episode looked particularly nuts. You saw the show. You get it.
Oh no, my phone. I had a thought while watching Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Are you able to play through the game without having any sort of technological enhancements whatsoever? Like, can you go through the game as just like a regular ass human?
No, the
Wonder if that's
plot
possible.
the plot is that you put a chip in your head, but the chip has Keanu Reeves in it, and he starts taking over your brain
Oh,
because he's dead, but his brain got uploaded to the computer.
oh, I see. Okay.
So you have to get at least one. It's not. I don't think it's like Deus Ex, where it's like you kind of. I don't know. Maybe it is. Who the fuck knows?
Like that Deus Ex Human Revolution, right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. The second one's supposed to be not very good. Oh, there is also a guy who looks like Adam Jensen from Deus Ex in here, except he's got long arms and he dies very unceremoniously like all the other characters.
Oh, he gets
He gets
fucking
he's one of the first to get fucked up real good.
Yeah. Yeah,
God, these frames are all so fucking nuts. I cannot believe this shit. I can't believe that this is what they did. Holy shit, dude.
Why not? You know what? I'm sure that that I guarantee you that this worked. This is a tie-in for it's like we gotta promote the video game. It came out, it's like a year and a half after the movie or the game came out, or maybe I guess 2 years at this point. If this doesn't drive interest towards the game, I don't know what
The
will.
game sold a lot of, I don't know, but I like this doesn't make me want to play a video game. It's like and it's like yeah, I don't even know how TV shows get made anymore. I'm like, are people paying to watch TV? The idea is completely alien to me. I don't know what people do. These things generate money somehow.
Oh my god, it's a dismal state of affairs now too, for like Western television. Like, well, Mad Men ended, and that ruined everything. Mad Men's the best TV show of all time. It's the greatest television show ever made. It's a like an unparalleled masterpiece.
I watched
It's the
I watched the ending, and you know, I didn't, I don't know, like, you don't need to. I get, like, I watched the ending and I was like, I get that. That's very smart. But it's also like, it's like a very obvious, like, I was like, oh, I get the meaning of this completely. And it turns out that the the writer didn't get the thing that he wrote, which is great because it's like supposed to be ambiguous. And like the guy who wrote it had the dumb interpretation where he's like, he became a better person and he made a nice commercial that's good. And you watch this fucking Coke commercial, and it's like if you're born after a certain point, it's just like completely creepy and weird and cultish, and it looks like Chinese. How it's like so like weirdly cinematic for like it's just a bunch of people staring straight forward on a hilltop, and it's like so cultish and insane.
I simply do not believe that is actually the interpretation that he had. It's impossible.
Straight up is like, I just think that people can become better, and I think that's one of the greatest commercials ever made. It's like, dude, what?
Maybe he thought that, but their writing team did not. There's no way. It's like, and also the thing about there's a writing team still, but the thing that's so great about Mad Men is that like all of these other programs are so dependent on the hook of on the loop basically of cliffhanger that leads into the next episode. They're so cliffhanger dependent, and so like Mad Men as a show is very much able to have satisfying individual episodes. Not being an episodic show, it's a serialized show that doesn't rely extremely heavily on that serialized formula.
Yeah,
which everything is built from now because Breaking Bad ruined television. Breaking Bad, it's Breaking Bad, also a great show, but
it seems like it aged really badly. It looks so cheap now. It
really works in its favor. It really works in its favor because it is like this down and dirty, like very specific area of the country that is gross. Like it's in New Mexico, which is gross, and like the locations are gross. It works really well, but Mad Men doesn't rely on that same formula, so it doesn't feel like anything else, and it's really like very character focused, more so than the other shows where the characters don't need to have their own drama going on to be entertaining. Oh God, what a great! It's the best TV show ever. I don't even know how I got into this, but Mad Men ended, and then TV was ruined because they're all chasing the Breaking Bad. They all learned all their lessons from Breaking Bad and not from Mad Men, and there will just never be television that good ever again. And like look at what they're fucking putting out now. It's like we've got a prequel, which is prequel to Game of Thrones. Like who gives a fuck? And then a prequel to Lord of the Rings, which is like double who gives a fuck.
Everyone was asking for that. Everyone loves it. I need to know what happened before all this world building. I need to know what happened about before this 1,000 pages of people explaining things that happened before.
Yeah, I just really wasn't satisfied with knowing what was going on in the world before the embodiment of darkness got there. Like before
the entirety of Lord of the Rings is people explaining things that happened a long time ago.
Yeah, I needed to know exactly where Sauron came from. That's important.
I need to show him as a young boy. I need him to be Tom.
That matters. Yeah, what is the motive? What is the motivation of Sauron? Like who fucking gives a fuck? And like obviously you could tell good stories in anything, of course. But like, dude, fucking kill me. Please. Please. I'm gonna go cyber psycho. I'm fucking totally. I've got prequels to the Star Wars original trilogy. I've got prequels to Game of Thrones. I got prequels to fucking Lord of the Rings. they're doing a TV show on fucking Interview with the Vampire. It's like,
Ah,
give me anything, give me anything new, please, anything. They did a new
yeah.
They did a new serial killer TV show. It's like, this is the Jeffrey Dahmer show.
Jeffrey Dahmer show.
This is the Jeffrey Dahmer show.
Sometimes
which
you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
and then they did the dude who did the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford made a movie about Marilyn Monroe, and he put a lady that barely speaks English in the lead role.
Is it Lady Gaga?
No, it's fucking Ana de Armas, who is she's the lady from Blade Runner. She's
Oh.
the computer lady from Blade Runner, and she can
I
barely
don't re-
speak English.
Oh, I guess yeah. She doesn't really. Yeah. It's called the Blonde.
One of
Is
the most
she-
anticipated things of the whole fucking year
She's not
is the
blonde
sequel to
anymore.
Knives Out. Kill me,
Oh,
kill me,
sequel?
please,
What?
please,
Why
kill
would there
me.
be that? Blonde is not getting rave reviews. Looks like.
I want to be murdered. What are my favorite movies of the year so far? My favorite movies of the year
Batman,
so
baby.
far are Batman and I liked I liked the Top Gun movie a whole lot,
Oh yeah.
and I thought Prey was entertaining. So we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
a reboot, a soft reboot or a sequel,
That was
and
good,
a
you said, but
and
like,
and another reboot.
yeah.
Well, yeah, what the fuck? Did I tell you that I finished all the Mission Impossible movies?
No.
I'm caught up on them. I watched Fallout.
Oh, nice.
It's the best. It's the best one
Wow.
other than Mission Impossible 2, which is it's impossible to unseat it because come on. But
Yeah, come on.
they literally only get better, so, except for the one spike of Mission Impossible 2. They literally just only get better. It's crazy.
Wow. Neat.
Yep.
Yes, that's cyberpunk. I go into every show and I get unreasonably high expectations, and I think, man, wouldn't it be cool if this got like extremely psychological, and then it never happens. And then this time it happened, and it's a Netflix show based on a video game that no one liked, based on a universe that no one knows anything about or cares about, that was made into a role-playing game that nobody played. So that's why it's important to at least watch the first episode of all garbage. You gotta think about that next time we're doing the season preview.
See, this is how we get cerebral, is that we're analyzing this shit like that. We go all the way for you.
We're giving it a good brain, giving it a good chew.
We're sucking it to squeeze it for all it's worth. We're getting every last drop out of that medium, baby. I would like to watch Summertime Rendering. I think we should do that.
Yeah, we keep talking about it, but we do have to wait for it to finish.
Well, could we just do the first half?
Probably not. There's not going to be any conclusion.
It's not split core.
No, it was all. I think it was just 24 episodes.
Oh shit. Wasn't there another one that kind of recently that had a really hot first episode that I wanted to watch?
What was that Science Saru show that was kind of neat? What was that called again? Let's look.
I'm looking at it. My favorite segment on the show. Let's look.
Let's look at the data. Oh, Ure Deco, that one with like with all the stuff. The one with all the things.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that was a pretty entertaining first episode. I think the Summertime Rendering is the one that's really been speaking to me the most, though. I've been thinking about that first episode a whole fucking lot. When is that done?
I think it might have. Did it just finish? It might have just finished.
September 30th. Yeah, I think it just finished, man. We might be ready to rip.
25 episodes. Wowie. Cool. Yeah, I need to finish Licorice Recoil. I hope something happens in the last 3 episodes. That would be nice. Man, what a waste of really charming characters.
Well,
Man.
did you Oh, what was the one about the classroom that gets sucked into another dimension?
Oh, Sunny Boy.
Sunny Boy. I think we talked about doing Sunny Boy in 1.2.
Oh yeah, that's neat. I don't know if that can end in a way that makes sense, but yeah, I'm curious about that one too.
Yeah, throw that on the list. Those are probably the 2 I want to do next. Let's do some new shit. Why not? Why not?
We're on that. We're on new kick.
We love all the new stuff the kids like.
Yeah, because we're cyberpunk now.
Yep.
I've adopted this. I've taken the correct lessons, and I want this to happen to me. I think it's cool.
It is cool,
So
actually.
I've learned that all of this was good.
Yeah, it's cool to live on the edge, and she gets to go to the moon.
Also, yeah, can we talk about like this? It's called Cyberpunk, and then this spin-off is called Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So now instead of 1 bad name, we have 2 bad names. And it's like the best show I've seen in so long. It's just, what's another word for blade? It's Edge, I guess.
Knife runner.
Knife man.
Knife sprinter.
Cool. Oh, and also I didn't like how that very obviously evil guy double backstabs him. You can even call it backstabbing when he starts off incredibly evil to me.
Literally the Kiwi's message to Lucy was to not trust anybody in the city, and then she makes the mistake of trusting anybody in the city. Who could have foreseen such a conclusion?
Yeah.
Nice one.
And although I liked his voice actor is weird. He has this really like he's some registers. He's like bass boosted. I don't know what's going on, but it's good.
You gotta make you can't. Hey, Kiwi.
I understand you. It's like he's like weirdly. He's like deep froggy voice.
You know what I thought was gonna happen. I could have sworn for the life of me that Keanu Reeves was going to show up. I thought they were going to. I thought they were going to give. I thought he was.
You thought Johnny. His name is like Johnny Silverdome or something.
Yeah. Johnny Polished Dome was going to show up in a bar. He's gonna be in the bar getting kicked out, or like be like, hey, what are you looking at, or some shit like that. But no,
Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah,
Johnny Silverdome is way funnier.
Yeah.
Silverdome does sound like a cyberpunk. That's like a it's like a. It's like
what are you looking at, Silverdome?
It's like having enhancement. Yeah.
Yeah, but no,
he literally has a silver hand. Great writing, fellas. Good stuff.
But they did not. They did not. He did not show up. I was very surprised.
I don't. Yeah, I wonder how, if any of this, like, I don't know, like if this shares anything with the game. If there's any shared characters, it didn't seem like. Oh, and also like the ending villain is like set up for like 1 sentence, and he's just like a really big, strong guy.
I'm gonna fight him.
Adam Smasher, which I assume it's spelled ADAM, which is really really stupid. Like, is he in the game? Maybe, because like it seems like he's so sparse in the show that it seems like something that's like a tie-in that was like kind of an afterthought. The driver who doesn't do anything, he has a mustache. Is he in there? Because I didn't do much with him. I don't know.
I cannot. I don't even know that this is a game that came out. I know less than nothing. As a matter of fact, as far as I know, they're still waiting for this game to be fixed.
There's an expansion coming out next year.
Interesting.
DLC. Yeah.
Is that where they're gonna?
I guess that is a reason to just to still have this come out.
Yeah. I hope that Traeger gets to make something cool again soon. That was something I was feeling was going into this is I'm like, man, I'm glad that somebody gave Trigger some money to make something, because it feels like they've been kind of stringing along. I can't say for certain that this is the case, but I've always gotten the impression that they're kind of using some of their stylistic stuff to cover a little bit of lower budgets at times, or I don't know. I'm happy with it. Glad we got it.
Definitely are on time constraints a lot.
Yeah.
But this seemed to, at least, this at least was a while from announced to airing. And yeah. I just love things that are about going fucking nuts. And this is like nuts the whole time. It's really good. Anyways, I'm gonna play this other Indian song that has a skull on it.
Thank you, Imaishi.
It's his new style mix.
Thank you for the show.
This is what it's just gonna sound like in the future. This is what it's gonna sound like when you open your fridge in the morning.
I can live with that.
It's gonna echo like this too, and you're gonna be like, hey. Oh yeah, it's fridge noise.
আরে এই মাদারের বাচ্চা বেশি কথা বলবি তো পেপে দিয়ে চেপে দেবো
You can't tell me he's spitting the truth right here.
Ja Rastafari. Peace to the one eye and I.